Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Just a quick point on Arsenal's disciplinary record. It's regularly questioned. Today's referee, Graham Poll, can vouch for that. But it's worth pointing out that 3 of their midfield players today have not received a card, yellow or red, for more than a year. Freddie Ljungberg, Gilberto and Robert Pires. It's a big day for David Seaman. Comparisons here, of course, with Seaman at one end and his successor, Jens Lehmann. Arsenal surprisingly in yellow. Apparently the decision was made because of the clash between the white shorts that they wear with their red and white shirts and City's white shorts here. They've lost a little bit of a trick, Andy, because David Seaman saying in our interview he might throw the ball out to someone wearing red, but maybe he won't make that mistake against an opponent in yellow, even though it might be a familiar face. Toure, who's actually lining up to the left of Martin Keown. He's been playing to the right of Sol Campbell, so maybe Keown's just been given some seniority into his preferred zone. Pitch is excellent, stadium is splendid, and here's Thierry Henry, who has done plenty of damage to Manchester City in recent meetings. Of course, they blew City away the last time they were in Manchester at Main Road. 5-1 was the final score. It could have been almost 3 times that.
Not sure what Distin had in mind there, but he almost paid a heavy price for it. Only really disappointed he didn't make more of that.
Ljungberg. City getting plenty of bodies in the way. And here's little Shaun Wright-Phillips. Ashley Cole has got the pace to get across.
That's what I talked about, Shaun Wright-Phillips. Bags of energy, man.
Yes, he's got as much bounce as a football itself. Here's Distin. Kevin Keegan saying earlier today he believes this group of players are the best that he's worked with. Wants them to show that they've got the collective spirit to go with their skills. Sylvain Wiltord, 2-goal man last Sunday at Middlesbrough.
Well, the thing we saw last Sunday, Mark, was if you allow Arsenal to play, if they slip into a rhythm, then they have got the talent, they have got the ability to rip you apart. It's vitally important for Manchester City that they don't allow that to happen. They put good pressure on the ball when they don't have it. They can mess Arsenal up a little bit in midfield.
A bit of combination there between Sibierski and Anelka. Arsenal know more about Anelka, but they know something about Sibierski. He scored 2 goals against the Gunners in the UEFA Cup for Nantes 2 or 3 years ago now. Tarnack with a free kick, and Lehmann, knowing probably plenty about his fellow German, who of course rather caught out Brad Friedel
just a bit
on Monday. David Seaman actually met up with the Arsenal players in their Manchester hotel last night. It wasn't a happy Arsenal hotel. There was a fire alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning and the players were disturbed. Pires. What do you make of the setting, Andy?
That's beautiful, Mark. I mean, it's a wonderful place to be playing the football. Not only that, there's a wonderful stadium. The pitch down below just looks absolutely perfect. It's as good a pitch as we've seen.
Graham Poll shaking his head. As Manchester City wanted the free kick. Vieira. Toure. Henry, more control from Arsenal, and that's offside as Ljungberg knocked what might have been a killer ball through to Sylvain Wiltord.
And that's the worry if you hold that line. You know, if this is Henry, Martin, and not Wiltord, but if that's Wiltord who plays the 1-2 and Henry looking to get on and you're that high up the pitch, then you're asking for problems.
Martin Keown starting a game for the first time since he turned 37 in the summer. Have an hour against Everton in Arsenal's opening game as a substitute. Lauren. Strong French influence on the match. 4 Frenchmen in Kevin Keegan's team. Both centre-backs, Distin and Sommet. And both frontmen, Sobieski and Anelka. Sobieski helping it on. Touré's there. Still getting closed down in midfield. Bosvelt lifted it forward.
Just, I think, just. Not much in it. They're not dead in line, but it just looked as if he just went a fraction early. Yeah, not a lot in it. Martin Keown, bags of experience, just stepped out, got it right. But you have to know your last defender when you do that, Martin. If you step out, you've got to know your last defender.
Ljungberg.
It's good pressure. Free kick given against Arnold. But didn't allow Ljungberg to get control, get his head up, pick a pass.
That's another of the Manchester City newcomers who's played against Arsenal before. That was for Bayern Munich in the Champions League. He scored at Highbury. Touré. Lauren. Arsenal found it hard going against Aston Villa in midweek. David O'Leary went in with a 5-man midfield and stifled his former club for long periods of the game in London.
Rather generous early on, Mr. Paul, for both teams, really. Just looked a battle of two people coming together, really, and Henry's upper body strength was the best. Give a little bit of skill wide on the right from Wiltord, and looking to thread that ball in behind, but it's just that coming together there. Didn't see an awful lot wrong with that.
Intriguingly, Thierry Henry kept his own counsel. Of course, he did shout his mouth off against Graham Poll, that incident after the defeat. Coming on for 2 years ago now, home to Newcastle, got Henry into serious trouble. Tarnat who's getting a talking to from one of England's senior referees. A typically capable game in front of our cameras on Wednesday, also in Manchester. Manchester United against Wolves. Santi high. It's a back from Wright Phillips. This is another Arsenal connection in the Manchester City ranks. Shaun Wright Phillips, the adopted son of Arsenal legend Ian Wright, who actually scored the first Premiership goal in this fixture when the new league was formed in the 92-93 season.
A little bit behind everyone, the cross there.
It's been a respectful start from Manchester City. They were sent out gung-ho fashion by Kevin Keegan for the fixture in February, and with rather blurred vision at the end of that game.
Long before the end.
Sommet got the goal here against Portsmouth, the one league game Manchester City have played on this ground. They were in danger of losing of it until Somé got an equaliser very late on. This has not just been all about the Premiership. City start to the season, they've come through qualifying round in the UEFA Cup against the Welsh club TNS, Total Network Solutions.
I've had plenty of games, man, that's for sure. Manchester City, there's extra couple in Europe, although Kevin made plenty of changes in those games.
Bosvelt actually is the only player starting this game who started on Thursday, and they played at the Millennium Stadium.
Well, I'm staggered. I mean, really, distance going nowhere at the back. He's running out of options and he just clubs the ball forward. You know, he's got nothing on here. Laurie's got a good possession, takes a touch on it, and I thought he's just going to hook this clear. What on earth is he thinking about? There's a little nudge in the back, but certainly not enough to cause him to make a complete and utter hash of it. I mean, that's unbelievable. Watch the arm come out. There's a little nudge there, and over he goes. That might have contributed. Certainly, Lauren will say it has, but well, that's an embarrassment to him.
Well, Trevor Sinclair got plenty of congratulations.
I chased the lost cause.
So Arsenal are behind. Lauren's own goal. And here comes Pires. Ashley Cole getting forward. Gilberto. Pires. It's a very cool customer, Arsenal's right back, usually.
Yeah. And it was a bit like Colo Torres at Villa Park late on in the season last year when he just hacked the ball into his net, really unprofessional like. I mean, the boy's got ability and he's got talent, Lauren. And I didn't expect him to be phased even with a little nudge. You know, he's in control, takes a touch there. There's a little nudge, Martin, but goodness me, that's unbelievable. Well, a goal's a goal.
What were we talking about? Scruffy goals?
Yeah. All it ever says is one, though, doesn't it?
Arsene Wenger and those on the Arsenal bench coming to terms with it. But Sinclair, one of the new faces. And a very versatile acquisition by Kevin Keegan. We've seen him plenty of times for West Ham in the past on the left of midfield and for England as well.
It's interesting, Kevin's team, as it's taking shape this year, Martin. You look at the midfield central area, and that was an area where they had real ball-playing players, if you like, last year. Maybe too many of them at times, it was said.
Here goes Wright Phillips. Sibierski's in the centre. Keown sweeps it away. Knocked down by Pires, but there's a air of uncertainty about Arsenal just at the moment. They're pretty stunned at the nature of the goal that they've conceded.
Oh.
But here goes Henry.
Goodness,
it could be a one-man rescue mission, but he's not solo in this attack. It might have been handball. Graham Poll was close enough to adjudicate on that. Sibierski stopped by Vieira. Bosvelt is a real tough customer, the Dutchman.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the midfield, how it's changed. Got a chance. You look at the two central midfield players now, he's going in with Bosvelt and young Joey Barton. Now, these two are different from the Eyal Berkovic's and people like that. They're all playmakers. They really will get in and mess people up. And I think what that's given them, it's given them four others. It's given them the two white players who have a bit of flair, Sinclair and Sean Wright-Phillips, and the two up top who have got the real goal threat. And I think the two in the centre midfield's job is destroy it, make it horrible, make it ugly, win the ball, and then give it to someone.
Of course, change by choice, but also by tragedy as well. The loss of Marc-Vivien Foé. They have actually retired his squad number of 23. There are plenty of other 20s in that midfield. 29, 26, 24 and 28. Sadly, number 23 no longer with us. Ljungberg. Manchester United have lost 1-0 today. Arsenal are trailing 1-0.
Had a feeling about today, you know, it might be different. Studio a few hours ago, I fancied that neither of the top two would win today. Well, a long way to go yet before that comes true for Arsenal, of course, but I thought it just might be, I don't know, something about today.
I've seen those Sixth Sense thoughts of yours come to fruition too often in the past to question them. Here's Ashley Cole being questioned by Sean Wright-Phillips.
I think as you watch this game, you're going to expect that sometime Arsenal will score. I mean, they score far too many goals in far too many games. It's going to be, I don't know if they're solid enough, Manchester City, to keep a clean sheet. They might be, but I would think if they want to win the game, Manchester City, they might need another goal.
Arsenal have scored, incidentally, in 77 of their last 79 league games. Pires. Henry could have got it, he knows. He must have half thought there was someone behind him.
Well, the problem with that was, you know, I think Pires was playing the pass so Henry could go on the far side of the defender. And actually, Henry's run took him near side here. And all he wanted was just fed lightly into him and come across the defender.
Player cam in operation again for you today. If you're a Sky Digital viewer, keeping up with Thierry Henry will be the challenge for that particular cameraman.
A bit different than David Seaman for the first 15 minutes, wasn't he?
I don't know, David was whooping around, wasn't he, when the goal went in? Would have taken a bit of tracking. Today, the last time David Seaman played against Arsenal was in the old Division 1 for Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Arsenal 0. Clean sheet for Seaman. This runs out off Sean Wright-Phillips.
I just got a funny feeling Ashley Cole will know he's been in the game today. I ain't going to give him a minute's rest, Sean Wright-Phillips.
They've sort of adapted the Ian Wright for Sean, haven't they? Don't think you're going to get too much of the Phillips in that. Here he is, looking for Anelka, who scored against Arsenal in both games for Manchester City last season, but then losing causes both times. And of course, they got Henry. They also got the money for a training ground, Arsenal. Such was the profit on the sale of Anelka, around £20 million. And Gilberto. Another Arsenal corner. What David Seaman shouldn't have to deal with against the Gunners is the type of corners that so unsettled him on Monday that Blackburn put into very good effect. Just really don't have too many players who throw their heads at crosses, Arsenal, but
they've got height. I mean, that's why I don't understand. They've got enough height in there.
They look for Henry on the edge of the area. It's a mishit volley, and the idea was a good one, especially when you haven't got too many players who want to throw their heads at the corners.
No. I mean, what I don't understand, I mean, we talk about football and people watching things. Having watched the game on Monday, why would Arsene Wenger and his coaching staff not have said, OK, it might not be our usual style, but David might be a little nervy in the first 2 or 3 corners that we get someone just to drop them in and around him, you know, and just test. He's bound to be nervous playing against his old side as well. And what they've done is they've had 2 corners and they've both been out-swingers away from the goalkeeper. It hasn't given David a problem, just again offside. But you know, there's 2 or 3 times he's been caught now, Nicolas Anelka, and it's getting closer and closer, Mark. There's not a lot in this. You look, Martin Keown again just about stepping out on time, but there's not a lot in it. He won't get upset, he won't get disappointed, Nicolas Anelka. He'll just keep running there.
And here is Will Tour. And we'll see what Arsenal do with another corner. And Pires is trotting across, which suggests it will be an outswinger with the right foot. No suggestion that Ashley Cole might be employed on that far side.
But you know what I'm saying? Why not? You know, why not? You know, stick Ashley Cole out there. If you get a corner, as I've said pre-game, to get a corner on the right, actually nick over and drop a couple under the crossbar. Let's see how David is with a bit of pressure on him. But there have been 3 pretty poor corners, I have to say, Mark, that Perez has taken.
Toure. It wouldn't have happened like that under George Graham with Adam Smith in there, would it?
Smith, Adams, ball, go flying in on it.
Here's Cole. Arsenal obviously feel they've got all sorts of other ways, wonderful ways to win football matches.
Well, they have. I saw them last week.
Typical tracking back by Bosveld. Rather fell out with his former club Feyenoord, had a dispute with the coaches, and City stepped in. Quite an outspoken character, he knows what he wants. Gilberto, Pires. A space for Pires to accelerate into. And the shot, it's a nice, straightforward one for his erstwhile colleague.
They've got such good movement, Arsenal. Perez in there, got space. And Joey Bart struggling to keep up with them. He had taken one of the midfield players, and he's just looking for a little bit of help from Sean Wright-Phillips in that situation. Perez got a good position again, just couldn't find him.
Bosveld given away. The reason he played on Thursday, as well as Monday, Bosveld, is he's a bit short of full match sharpness. Certainly be better for the 2 outings, and he looks here for that ball that finds Sibierski, angled across. It's a difficult one as it dropped for the forward, but it was also difficult for Martin Keown to defend.
Yeah, I mean, you pays your money and takes your chances there. If you're confident in your own ability, you probably take that down, Martin, and then test Martin Keown. Sibierski obviously felt that volley was the best for him.
And there's a foul by Bosveld on Vieira. They're doing well against Will Torres. Drifted to the right mostly so far. You know, Henry likes going to the left.
They've done all right, Manchester City, in the opening quarter of this game. Broken the play up quite well. Not too many times have we seen Arsenal get the ball down and pop 4, 5, 6 passes around.
Pires. Will Torres, but the flag was up. Martin Short.
This is close again. I don't think he is. He's probably not. I think he's dead level there. It's a difficult one, but it is one of those where we need to be seeing the attacker given the benefit of the doubt more often.
And that's what the law now states.
Yeah. And what was noticeable though, Martin, you saw the ball as it was played across the box there. Freddie Ljungberg coming sliding in, just not making contact. David Seaman quickly having a word with Michael Tarnap and just saying, hey, I know what this guy does, and it is that type of run. Be aware.
Only the 5th goal that Manchester City had managed against Arsenal in the Premiership ever. This is the 13th meeting, and I guess they didn't really manage it, did they? Although you give Sinclair plenty of pats on the back from Kevin Keegan's point of view for his pursuit.
The early worries there. He's a worried look on his face, Arsene Wenger. I think he knows his team haven't slipped into gear anywhere like they did last week.
And he knows that Anelka's around. Keown's short of match practice. And Manchester City have a corner. Read an article in one of the Sunday papers, Anelka saying he's 10 times better than he was when he was an Arsenal player, and that probably he's the best striker in the world at the moment.
Never short in confidence, that boy, was he?
You want your forwards to think that, don't you?
That means he's going to get 170 goals for Manchester City this year then.
One just now, wouldn't he, from Tarnat's corner. Sinclair keeping the pressure on. He's there again. There's very good acoustics in this stadium, and the Blues are getting plenty of backing.
I think they are, but you know, you just sense that they know the record, the team's record against Arsenal is absolutely horrendous. As you've said, not just in the Premiership, but even prior to the Premiership coming into being, Mark, that was awful. And so they're a little anxious as well. They're happy to be one up, I think, the Manchester City fans back there. I know they are, but there's that nagging doubt still. Do they believe they can go on and win the match?
It is a much changed Kevin Keegan lineup this season, but last season was almost a typical Keegan campaign. I think they drew only 6 games. It was one thing or the other for Manchester City. They got up to 9th place in the end, which is the highest finish for 10 years.
There's certainly a more solid look about this. Is my first glimpse at him this season, and when you look at the system he's played, I've always believed if you come in against Arsenal with 3 at the back and 5 across midfield, you do play into their hands the way where Arsenal's strengths are, as we found out, I think, at Middlesbrough last week. When you come in with a 4 and a 4, you can be more solid. And I just think this suits the way the football's played in the Premiership more than any other systems.
Toure. Toure's judged offside again. Shining out in lights at the moment.
David Seaman said beforehand he'd take 1-0 when asked. He'd be delighted if it carries on like this. I don't think the big goalkeeper's had a save worthy of the name. He dealt with a Perez shot straight at him, but that's about it.
Wright Phillips.
It's
Wycombe Wanderers against Sheffield Wednesday. So Sky Sports 1.
Please contact a steward. Thank you.
good climb. There's a big height difference there, but that's a classic example of someone standing, Patrick Vieira, and the running jump of Sun Jihai. That'll give you an advantage.
There's some dribbling skills here from Shaun Wright-Phillips. Keown knows he's got to get tight on Anelka, which he did, and even then Arsenal needed the help of the other centre-back, Kolo Toure.
Yeah, they worked it between them. I thought Keown did well. I didn't think his intention was to play the ball at all, Martin, but it was just to keep Anelka away from it. I think he knew where Toure was.
Martin Keown may be long in the tooth, but he's still plenty of bite in the tackle and plenty of bark as well. Bosfeld. Sommet. Headed up to Wright-Phillips. Sun Jihai with the cross. And, it's a run that Arsenal have got to be aware of. Trevor Sinclair is very good in the air, coming in from the left-hand side into a central position when the build-up's on the right. Ljungberg, but he doesn't get there. Sobieski does. Here's Sinclair.
Well, he had to hold it up, Trevor Sinclair. He had a quick look when the ball was played through, but there was no one to play it into. He'd like to have played it early, I'm sure, but he had to buy a bit of time somewhere.
He was born in London, Trevor Sinclair, but he was brought up here in Manchester. He had a spell as a schoolboy on the books of Manchester United. Wright-Phillips and Nelka. Still finding it hard going at the moment. Cole. Perez can't get hold of the ball. That's good news for Manchester City.
No, they haven't quite been at it, have they, Arsenal? But I mean, I think you have to give credit to City for that in many respects. Yes, Arsenal's passing hasn't quite been as crisp in the movement as last week, no doubt about that. But I do think Manchester City have made it more difficult for Arsenal than Middlesbrough did.
Typical interception from Bosvelt. To City on the ball again. Sun Jihai. Also typical of the Kevin Keegan team, Andy, that 8 of these 10 outfield players have scored this season already in Europe and the Premiership.
Yeah, it's not bad when 3 of your back 4 have scored this early in the season.
And Sun Ji-hai and Some have got 2 apiece. Cole, Vieira. Of course, also talking about Manchester City in the UEFA Cup. Arsenal know their Champions League group. A real plum against Inter. Opening game at Highbury. We'll be there to bring you that live on Sky Sports. We've got some difficult trips to Moscow and Kiev. And this is turning out to be a difficult trip for the northwest of England. Third of the game gone. Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. Gilberto. Hit by Barton, who we understand has been called into the England under-21 squad, which is a great compliment to him. This is only his 13th first-team game. He does that sort of thing well, gets his foot in. Of course, he scored against Blackburn on Monday, and he out-tackled the 2 Blackburn centre-backs, one of whom I noticed was dropped yesterday.
Oh, he's in far side.
This is Tarnat. Anelka. Looking at Henry-like to score from that sort of position.
In the end, it's a waste of a good move, isn't it? Look, you've got plenty of blue shirts. I don't know if anyone ever attacks the penalty box enough. Look at that. There's no one really going in there, 6-yard area for the cross for Tarnat. He's had to pull it back. It was a rather tentative prod in the end. Nicholas Anelka.
Bergkamp now following Anelka. After a stint with Henry, I'm sure the cameraman's very much in the groove to keep up with the speed merchant up front for Manchester City. Vieira being pressed by Bosvelt. Both the managers out into the technical area.
Well, the referee didn't give that. That's what Kevin Keegan's annoyed about. He had a pretty good look at it, Graham Paul. He didn't give it. The linesman's flagging. You know. Well, if there's one more free kick given against him, he'll get booked, Bosvelt. That's a certainty, having been told. But that's the kind of job he's done well, and I know it sounds daft, but they haven't allowed the man on the ball just passing it, the skipper and the hugely influential Patrick Vieira, to influence the game in the way that he likes to do.
Another ball lost by Pires.
Arsene Wenger obviously complaining about what he thinks is too many free kicks committed by Manchester City, but I can tell you they've only conceded 7 free kicks, man. I mean, that's in over half an hour of football. I don't think that's excessive somehow.
Me neither, and I don't know, we're on dangerous ground with this card business, but I have to say Graham Poll's using a lot of common sense here, and we always have applauded that down the years, Andy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
if managers will say, well, hang on, another referee might have booked a few players, well, he's going to get the card out here because the ball's been thrown away.
Well, that's your call daft. And this is a problem at times, I do feel with Arsenal. They think they're hard done by, right? Now, we've shown 7 free kicks in 33 minutes of football. It's not hard done by. The Ashley Cole's free kick was given against him, and right in front of the referee, he tosses the ball away.
And he allows Tarnat now, because of the ball being moved forward in that direct line from where the infringement took place. And here goes Tarnat.
Now this is where they're dangerous. They don't make the most of that.
And Henry has kept it in only for Manchester City's benefit, a bit like Desai did to Blackburn yesterday. Here's Sibierski. Did well to get it on target. To spin into the shot.
I think one of the things that Manchester City have to be careful about when you play Arsenal, having watched them all these years, one of the great things they're brilliant at the breaking from deep. And if the game gets stretched, and if Manchester City gets stretched, Martin, Arsenal will pick them off. I don't think there's anything surer than that. One of the good things they've had is this. They've had two banks of four, making it really hard for Arsenal most of the time.
Perez after good work by Wiltor. And the flag's up against Ashley Cole.
Well, Sean Wright-Phillips got back eventually, but I'm sure when he jogs back to the halfway line, that one of the coaching staff and his manager might say, listen, you cannot switch off like that. Look at him, he just played around him. And again, it's very, very close. This linesman's giving everything to the defenders at the moment. There's been a couple of those that Arsenal maybe feel should have been allowed to go.
Arsenal have given Manchester City a goal start here. Lauren's own goal. They've been rather below par, Arsene Wenger's men, since the shock of that. But the potential is there. Certainly in the attacking side of their game, they're very much at full strength. They're not quite at full throttle at the moment. Like handball by Cole, but again it's about angles, and Graham Poll didn't see it as worth blowing for. Lauren. Vieira. Sunji saw that coming. It's a bit delayed by Vieira. Henry. Anelka. And well read by Bosveld. That's the throw for City.
Well, one of the good things that City are doing is they're keeping possession of the ball a bit more than... You look at the last 10 minutes of the match, for instance, man, that's pretty good if you're Manchester City and you're protecting a lead. You've got almost 60% possession of the football.
Distal. Remember, this is a Manchester City squad with Claudio Reyna and Steve McManaman to come.
What a ball that was, a tarmac. One of the most difficult balls to hit straight down the line like that. Just offside, Trevor Sinclair. You think Robbie Fowler as well, back at full fitness?
Yeah, he's up on the bench today. He's had that rib problem. There's no doubt that he's delighted to have his old mate Maka with him. Here comes Anelka.
Good save. I just wonder if he'd left too much room near post. Lovely play. Sibierski really does do very, very well here. I wondered if he'd take a touch, but no such thoughts. There's a little gap there, maybe a little bit more than Jens Lehmann would have wanted to have left. But he got down well to it. Strong hand on it.
Arsenal have pulled everyone back into their own penalty area. Lehmann seemed to be a bit unsettled there by where Bosveld was going. Tarnack with the second ball. Vieira got ahead to it. It's another shinned out by Cole. Oh, and the break was on. But it wasn't a great ball by Perez of all people. Henry had to check. Manchester City can regroup because of that. Ljungberg's gone herring through the centre. The ball hasn't come for him. Vieira.
And they're just a bit ragged at the moment, just trying to get people back into positions, and Arsenal are giving them a chance to do so.
Henry. Still. Well, the numbers worked out for City.
I'll tell you, that would have been interesting. I'm talking about Sean Phillips' tackle. Henry honestly staying on his feet there. There's plenty of players that might have gone down, Martin, and that would have given Graham Poll a real decision to make.
Did you say Sean Phillips?
Did I say that?
I think you did.
All right. Well, that's his trouble when he's got three names.
Here's Vieira. Oh, and it was an ambitious ball again. The flag is up. Martin Short again, quick to react. Would have been adjudged offside. Graham Poll has allowed the game to go on.
I'm just thinking they haven't done him any favours, that advantage, is it?
Because here's Henry, the man who scored the goal of the game so far in the Premiership, plus the Community Shield as well. He's in red-hot form. And that's rather typical of the way this first half has gone for Arsenal. The ball gets away from Gilberto as well, but he kept on going. And Ljungberg and David Seaman denies Arsenal.
Well, I can't believe how many times I've seen centre-backs walk through tackles. Sylvain Distin here. If you're a centre-back, Martin, you should go and win this tackle. There ain't two questions about it. That isn't good enough if you're a centre-back. And it's almost cost his side the lead.
Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. Just too high for Keown. This is Sylvain Wiltord.
Good ball. Good ball.
Perez found, hardly picked out deliberately. Oh, there's a chance for a counter-attack there, Arsenal style by Anelka and Sean Wright-Phillips. Here's Vieira, sustained pressure here, really for the first time from Arsenal. Perez, but that's scooped up by Seaman.
Nothing wrong with the ball, you know. A lot of teams would have players going in after that. It's not Arsenal style, though. Well, I talked about possession, didn't I? Well, the last 5 minutes of this match, you'll find Arsenal have been, camped just outside the penalty area. And that just from that breakaway, was Manchester City were never really got themselves organised again.
Oh, and Wright-Phillips has burst past Cole, which takes a bit of doing. Warren gets a defensive touch, Tarnat. He likes to drive on from left-back, but has just pushed into Freddie Ljungberg in the end.
Yeah, like Phillips showing Wright's got some pace in him, hasn't he?
Caused some problems for Cole Ashley.
It's a good
Hard
little
enough to get
battle,
the name on the shirt, isn't
Yeah.
it? Let alone to say it.
They don't sell many. Cost a fortune for that shirt.
I suppose in the modern way, he could just call himself Sean.
Yeah.
Couldn't he? Here's Anelka. Sinclair had to check to stay onside. And then Anelka went down a blind alley.
Yeah, right in front of the Arsenal fans as well. They enjoyed that immensely. Yeah, 2.5 minutes important here for both sides, particularly for Manchester City. Kevin Keegan can get his side in at 1-0. Yeah, massive boost for them.
Wiltord. Ljungberg. Looking to level it before half-time. Cole. Perez. Again, the pressure of numbers around Ljungberg forced the error. Arsene Wenger has 3 wins out of 3 managerial clashes with Kevin Keegan. Last season's double over Manchester City. And a 2-1 win at Newcastle during the last few weeks of Kevin's time on Tyneside. Distin. Nearly from Joey Barton for Sinclair. A Liverpool lad, I asked him what the Derby result meant to him yesterday. He said, well, Evertonian family, but a big pal of Stevie Gerrard, so he got something from Liverpool's success. Gerrard, tight pass as well. Anelka. Got two over here, Manchester City. Wright Phillips is one and Sobieski was the other.
He was unlucky. I know what he tried to do. I'll just tuck it back to Sobieski and get it right. Great ball though from Nicolas Anelka, man. He looked up and he picked out Shaun Wright-Phillips deliberately.
Gutenberg trying to pick out Wiltor. There goes Manchester City's way. Tarnat.
It's going to be 2 minutes of added time.
Pires.
Indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 additional minutes.
Cole, Pires, all been played in front of Manchester City. Kevin Keegan will be reasonably happy with that, but he'd love his team to get back on the ball and just run down the clock to half-time. Lauren. Gilberto. And Sommet, David Seaman did come out to try and claim it, but Vieira, Sommet's there again. Seaman did admit that he failed to call just before half-time at Blackburn, and City lost the lead then. It was their own goal that day.
Well, it's been a good half for City for the majority, but there've just been signs that Arsenal are starting to exert a little bit of pressure last 10 minutes or so of this half. It's coming at a good time, half-time for Manchester City, Martin.
Wiltor. Here comes Pires. Wiltor's shot. Hit it pretty true as well.
Well, that's what I mean. Half-time can't come soon enough. Kevin Keegan wants to get his team back in the dressing room. Lovely strike, good technique. It's not going to beat David Seaman. Eyes on the ball.
On Monday night, it was Trevor Sinclair's own goal at Blackburn today. He's forced one out of Arsenal, and Lauren in particular. And they've been good enough, Manchester City, to hang on to that unusual way of getting the lead. David Seaman's played a part in that. And at half-time in the City of Manchester Stadium, Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0.
The first time that City have ever led against Arsenal in a Premiership game. Sean Gota and Alan Smith are with us. And how then does it feel to see a goal go in against Arsenal? It feels like that.
Next Saturday, 2 European qualifiers. At 2 on Sky Sports 1, third in their group and still in with a shout. Scotland look to take a step closer to Portugal when they take on the Faroe Islands. Then at 3 on Sky Sports 2, they've dragged themselves back into contention. Now second-placed Republic of Ireland will be looking to claim all 3 points from the third spot Russians. A Ford International football double next Saturday from 2 Sky Sports.
Lost track of how long we've been at sea. Throats so dry. Don't think we can take any more.
all the football that matters on Sky Sports during the course of this season. From Spain tonight at 8:30, it's Real Zaragoza against Deportivo. And on Tuesday, David Beckham's in action again for Real Madrid. A scorer inside 2 minutes on his debut. They go to Villarreal Tuesday at 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. Well, Manchester City lead against Arsenal. The first time we've been able to say that in Premiership history. 1-0. And Shaun Goater has not stopped smiling. And what did we say, Sean, about scruffy goals? They all count, don't they?
They all count, certainly. Great bit of pressure. I think Sylvain was knocking basically a clearance because it was a bit under pressure, and Sinclair's done very well to chase it down, and he just forced him into the area, really. Well done, Trev.
It is the poor first touch that gets him in trouble, Alan, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought initially he was just going to head it back towards playing with the keeper, but he got in all sorts of trouble and shanked it at the end just with a shove.
But was it a foul?
Well, I mean, there was contact, but I mean, so many times we've seen the slightest bit of contact and the referee blow up. We saw it with Thierry Henry up the other end with a straight shoulder bar. Well, that's certainly what caused him to miss-kick it. Arsene Wenger will claim that there was a push there. We're at home though, aren't they, Man City?
Well, I was just going to say, would that have stood at the other end, do you think?
I'd be interested. But I mean, I think City are full value for the lead. I think they've looked the brighter side, created more chances, and Arsenal have just not been at the races. Too many of their top performers haven't been there.
What would City's plan have been, and has it worked?
Certainly, Bosveld and Barton to get around Vieira, to make sure that he is unable to run the game and predict the game, and they've done that. I think the midfield have been very good working together, and they've really stopped Arsenal from playing.
Can they do that for 90 minutes then?
Well, that's a challenge for them. I think that, they got the nerves in front, their confidence is high. Keegan will be in there motivating them and saying, if you want to make a statement to the Premiership, then today's the day you can do it.
And in just 7 days, Alan, Arsenal, from the fluent, glorious football we saw a week ago, have found themselves time and again under pressure, and they just have not found a gear, have they?
No, they haven't. I mean, that back four has been exposed because City's midfield four has won the battle so far and allowing the likes of Nicholas and Alka to get in possession in good areas. I mean, you can't imagine that they'll play that poorly again. There were a couple of signs coming into half-time that are beginning to find the feet. But City, because they'd gone a goal up, they were able to just withdraw and deny that space. I mean, you wouldn't ever fancy Thierry Henry to miss control from that area, but that's just been the kind of half it is. And the captain on the ball there, he's been as quiet as I've ever seen him, I think, in an Arsenal shirt.
But they cannot take their eye off the ball, literally, can they?
No, not at all. I mean, well, that's pertaining to Arsenal, but City know that Arsenal can't play any worse, really, and they expect them to come out and be really going for goals. So it's not the same.
Likes of Freddie Ljungberg there, Sylvain Wiltord. I think you're asking a lot more. Hardly saw Freddie in that half, and until a couple more players step up their effort and contribution, Arsenal continue to struggle, but Arsene Wenger will get at them at half-time, and I would expect a better performance.
On a day when Manchester United were beaten by Southampton with an 88th minute goal from James Beattie. Up next. They might be trailing, but it's been better than that. And not to make too light of it, there was a fella kicked out at Middlesbrough last week for having had a drink too many at lunchtime, and he's lost his season ticket as well, so be careful, don't sleep at football matches. It's a choice of live football this coming weekend. They're both European Championship qualifiers. Scotland face the Faroe Islands at 2 o'clock on 1, and at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, the Republic of Ireland beat Russia. One or two teething problems in the City of Manchester Stadium. They're still furnishing it in many places, but the PA system works. Lorraine has scored at the wrong end, and Manchester City lead. They also lead the Premiership right now. Manchester United beaten at St Mary's by Southampton a little earlier. An 88th minute goal from James Beattie, the difference there. Arsenal with one or two things to sort out, more than one or two things to sort out. Now David Seaman is going right of that tunnel as he leaves to come out for the second half, and behind the goal are the massed ranks of the Gunners fans. That's great. Well done, lads. 13 years and 9 major trophies. over 550 games. At the very least you expect is a reception like that. 1-0 Manchester City. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Yeah, Richard, quite right. That was lovely, and David Seaman deserved nothing less for his tremendous service. The goalkeeper has played the most times for Arsenal Football Club. But he's shutting them out at the moment. Manchester City, who have moved seamlessly into a new setting against Arsenal, whose own relocation is causing some Highbury headaches. I'm sure the Manchester City fans, Andy, would like to fast wind time now for 45 minutes.
You bet they would. Well, there's work to be done, and as I said, Mark, I think half-time came at exactly the right time for as far as Manchester City were, because they're not Arsenal. I think Arsene Wenger would have wanted to have to carry on. His team had just started to exert a bit of pressure, pin Manchester City back.
That's a mistake by Kian. Charged down by Sibierski, looking for Anelka unselfishly. You might be wondering whether that was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, he's through. Wondered about that. Don't buy a ticket, don't win the raffle, that's for sure there.
Seem to pass not just the ball but the responsibility as well. What a shot that would have been to Arsene Wenger's team. So be culpable in the conceding of a second goal at the start of the second half as they were at the start of the first. Bergkamp following a man who's got to perhaps influence the game a bit more in the second half. He normally does, Patrick Vieira, but certainly Bosvelt and Barton have ruffled his feathers in the game so far. It's there again. Another element here, how much do these Manchester City players believe that they are good enough to see it through? They should do. They will go top of the league if they can win this match. Sibierski. And raiding from the back is Sylvain Distin.
The trouble when you do that is someone's got to fill in for you at the back, and no one has at the moment.
Be helped here because Thierry Henry is limping.
Yeah. So he just tried to weave his way through the middle edge of the box there. Tackle came in, must have just shaken him up a little.
Vieira, wasn't really the angle for that. Again, Bosvelt putting up the barricades in midfield. You can't stop Pires, nor could Sean Wright-Phillips when he really should have done. Wiltor. Sanji High chipping away at him, and Sané there as well. Arsenal's throw. I'd be a bit concerned about Henry, who's still...
Well, Sean Wright-Phillips again, Martin's been caught. Ashley Cole's just been too good for him. Got in behind again. I talked about it first half. Concentration at this level is vital. Arsenal's left-hand side can destroy teams, and it does it time and time again. And I think the young lad gets caught again here. Well towards the finish. You watch a big part Ashley Cole plays. There's the ball. Now look at Sean Wright-Phillips, man. He's lost him. He's got wrong side of him. Totally lost him. Yet again, I don't think the centre-back. This time it's Somé. When he comes across here, I've got to say, you've got to do better than that if you're a centre-back in this league. That is not a great tackle. Cole stretches, he wanted it. I think Somé should have done better, but the problems began when Cole got wrong side with Sean Wright-Phillips.
He's the Sunday man, Sylvain Wiltor. 2 last Sunday. A very important goal here past David Seaman. And City have lost that lead. Wiltor, of course, whose future is in question at the moment. He hasn't signed a new deal. Vieira fouled by Barton. Yellow card. Not deemed the first offence.
I guess that's what you're saying to me, young lad. I think he's a little unlucky, as I said. That's only the 9th free kick I think they've given away. Something like that. And he certainly hasn't given them all away, as we know, because Bosfeld's been warned about giving away too many. So it's perhaps a little unlucky, Joey Barton.
Graham Poll's done his best to keep in sympathy with the sense of occasion here.
The players have made it quite easy when you look at that, Mark. I mean, 13 free kicks. I mean, we've seen that in 13 minutes of certain matches.
Yeah. Sobieski, but there wasn't any space for Anelka to get into for the flick on. Ball was a bit too long for Antoine Sobieski. Interception by Barton. Lauren. Very difficult to pass their way through, Arsenal. Look at Barton working hard at Vieira. He certainly won it fairly that time. Again, that's a good sight for Kevin Keegan. Maybe taking a little bit out of David O'Leary's tactics. Almost got Aston Villa something at Highbury in midweek. Arsenal only wrapped that game up with a second goal very late on. Perez. It's a great sight. Ashley Cole moving forward down the left-hand side, of course. England take advantage of that, and England squad to be announced shortly after the final whistle here. And if fit, he's sure to be in it. But it looks as though his England days are done and dusted. 75 caps. It's a great international career to look back on. But he'd still be available if selected.
It could have been many more, Mark. You think of the friendlies he's never played in.
Yes, he's about the only one who's never played in the friendlies, so actually everybody else has.
You know, he probably would have up near 100 caps now if David had played in every friendly that was available to him. But this is a big test now for Manchester City.
Well, we showed plenty of resolution at Blackburn. Finally getting the win, leading at the third time of asking. Anelka, it's a most improbable goal.
Oh, just a bit.
I couldn't use the word impossible because it actually went in, but very unlikely that he was going to beat Brad Friedel the way he did. Sorry, Brad, if you're watching. Here's Vieira. This is good football from Arsenal, and it's Sylvain Wiltord again. Perez. Will Ljungberg reach it? He might do.
He's onside. Oh. Flag stayed down. Well, they're looking a bit ragged at the moment. That was lovely football. They just broke here in numbers. And again, when this comes out, you look at Freddie Ljungberg, deemed onside. I think the decision's the right one, and just anything lifted over David Seaman, finding an empty net, Martin. So worrying times for City. Took Arsenal a good half hour before they woke up in this game.
Kevin Keegan needs to show himself in the technical area. White handball by Anelka, that damaged wrist strapped up. There's nothing going to stop him playing against his first English club, because he's been at Liverpool since then. Bosfeldt. Barton.
Oh, unlucky.
That's that dart in from the left-hand side from Sinclair that, Lauren was nowhere near it.
How's just ball watching, Lauren? Simple as that. He's admiring the play going on in midfield. And suddenly, Sinclair's in between him and Keown. And I tell you, if that's a foot lower, he takes it on his chest and he's able to kill the pace on the ball.
Distin. And Sobieski, who's had some good headers today. He's won that one at a bit of a price. Been there or thereabouts in French football for over 10 years. Clubs like Lille and Nantes, Auxerre, Lens. Never won a full international recognition. me, Andy, in Nantes that night when he got 2 goals. And the UEFA Cup game, Arsenal really put it to bed in the home leg.
Oh, yeah.
And it was 3-3 over there. I think 6-3 they went through on aggregate. Sobieski had a splendid time at Arsenal's expense.
Wasn't a very power hat-trick, was it?
No, that was Bremen.
Bremen was it.
I think Henry was sent off, if memory serves me right as well. He's off and impeded here in his run. Somme punished for that, for causing that.
Cards starting to float. Simple as that. There was a concern there, absolutely. I mean, Henry breaking at pace from that sort of distance out. We know how devastating it can be. Sounds daft me saying that. He's on the halfway line. But he is, that's what
you know. Everybody knows what you mean, Andy, don't worry. Lauren. Ljungberg. It's a fine ball by Lauren. This down was attracted away from Wiltor. Good help for him by Barton again, and this down says thank you very much.
Yeah, he's made some strange decisions, Sylvain Distin, for me today, defensively. That was another one. He really was all over the place. But 1 or 2 passes starting to find yellow shirts. And that's what tells you all about Joey Barton. That little piece there, that little scrap. That's why he's in the team.
Well, Freddie Ljungberg, we mentioned, hadn't been booked for over a year, but he's in danger of talking himself into trouble by disputing the decision. Nigel Bannister, the assistant, had given it the way of Manchester City. Vieira really threw himself at that. Keogh. Distin. Neaty header. Sobieski. Well, Lauren will be a lot happier now after his own goal. That Sylvain Wiltor has found an equaliser for Arsenal. Vieira. Ljungberg. Cole's off and running again. And Wright Phillips got to the ball well enough, but already anticipated where it might drop. And Wright Phillips does get plenty of applause for clearing Manchester City's lines.
Yeah, that was better. But they're defending far too much. They're not having enough of the ball. And Arsenal's half mark. They've been pushed further and further back. They need to start having some influence at the other end.
Talked about the acoustics in the first half. We also talked about the possession as well. Look at that for Arsenal. But there's definitely an air of apprehension around the city of Manchester Stadium from the majority. Arsenal fans are calling for more from their team. Perez and Ljungberg trying to supply it. They do have a corner.
Well, I said first half at 1-0, I didn't think this side, Man City, were good enough to keep Arsenal out. They haven't been. Question is, can they keep... They've got to sleep a little. Oh, Sean Wright Phillips has seen him, but Wiltor just sneaking over towards the corner to get 2 against 1.
Perez takes.
It's got to be a booking if a free kick's been given. Simple as that.
That's exactly what has followed the decision for the free kick.
Because he just gets beaten. It's a quick feat of Anelka. You know, people say, well, good and bad bookings. You'd probably take that as a good booking if you're Arsenal, because they were stretched. There were plenty of players ahead of the ball, and they might have had a problem. Anelka spinning into open space.
Very good delivery by Tarnat again from the free kick. Switching the point of attack for Manchester City, or trying to do that. Certainly making it awkward for Ashley Cole to defend. Cole would much rather be attacking down that far side than being pressed back by probing City balls like the one that Tarnat struck. Gilberto. Szybiewski.
I thought it was a tackle. Didn't think it was a free kick or anything. I thought he won the ball, Patrick Vieira.
Chance for Tarnat to put it in a dangerous area again. It's a decent target aerially, Szybiewski. And he wins Manchester City a corner off Ashley Cole. And although you never feel with Arsenal they're likely to score from a corner, you sometimes wonder these days whether they might concede from one. Manchester City looking to regain the lead here. And remember, with that chance of regaining top spot in the Barclaycard Premiership. Tarnat. It's easy for Henry to head away.
Corners have been poor today, Martin, from both sides. Hardly been a corner, got past the near post.
There's that massive central defender, Sean Wright-Phillips. He was needed there. Others had gone up for the corner. Now switching to Antoine Szybiewski. Arsenal, of course, started the day top of the table. They probably expected to be knocked off by Manchester United in the earlier game. That hasn't happened. Now they may be knocked off by Manchester City. Or they might just extend their lead to a nice 3 points going into the international break. Haven't won 4 league games in a row at the start of the season since 1947.
Well, it shows you how difficult it is at this level to do that. It would be an achievement.
In fact, they've done 3 for the first time since 1972. Henry. Do you think the Premiership's got a bit wiser to Freddie Ljungberg's type of running, Andy?
Well, it knows it. I mean, but there's one thing knowing it, there's one thing being able to do anything about it. I think why when it doesn't happen sometimes, because teams are playing like Manchester City have been forced to for quite a lot of the game, and that's deep with plenty of people in there. But I do think if the game gets stretched, then you do see Freddie pick up the pieces and pick up the holes.
Wiltord. It's almost taken by Barton into Perez's territory, but it was short of numbers on the cross. Arsenal. Wiltord could have complained about that. Toure had a difficult bounce to deal with. Now he's got the pace of Anelka to try and cope with, and Barton's there to back up Anelka's run. Bosveld. Distin. Cut out well by Lauren. Hasn't had too much in the way of pleasant memories from the City of Manchester Stadium so far. He's on the ball again. Gilberto. Vieira.
Ominous know that, Martin. That again was good play for Arsenal. Just the final pass got cut out.
Biding his time, and it didn't work for him.
A little sloppy, Martin, a little sloppy.
Arsenal have got 4 players swooping in on David Seaman's goal here. Perez just didn't quite work it right on the right-hand side, and Sinclair steps in.
That was a chance, wasn't it? Arsenal don't usually squander good opportunities like that.
The game is just stretched at the moment. Sung Ji-hai making some good ground. Szybiewski. Rather weary swing at the ball that time.
It was hugely difficult, Martin. He was trying to adjust. I mean, he was never going to get to it at the right height, at the right time. He had to take a touch on it.
Maybe that might be a signal for Kevin Keegan to think about Robbie Fowler.
I think he must be doing. He looks a little leggy. Sobieski has worked hard because he's dropped off Anelka and he's tried to help the midfield at times. He just looks a little bit leg weary at the moment.
Vieira. Samé goes across and wins the throw off Wiltor. Robbie Fowler, who was kept out of the Monday game with a rib injury. Couldn't get his place back in the starting 11, and no surprise in that. After the 3 points that they brought back from Ewood Park. Wiltor. Ljungberg nearly into Wiltor's stride. Arsenal not finished yet in this attack. Sinclair heads away. It's tidily done by Sun Ji-hai. Wright Phillips.
Oh, they've got a break left side. I don't know if they can transfer the ball.
Oh, it's Sobieski!
Well, the deflection took it straight into his run. Don't know if he's looking for him here, Nicolas Anelka, but his attempt to cross gets deflected. It takes a bit of pace off the ball, and this is a glorious chance. But as I said earlier, I think he's a little leg weary, Martin. I think a sharper player, a fresher player, might have done better.
And here is Nicolas Anelka. Parried by Lehmann. No one following up for City.
Well, that's what City have needed, Martin. They've needed a couple of chances at the other end to lift themselves, to lift the crowd. Real venom in the shot from Anelka. He always takes it early, but he's a little unlucky he wasn't able to get it out his feet and go straight at goal.
Distin, Lauren. You're absolutely right about the crowd, and they're almost sitting back fearing the worst, and suddenly they're roaring Sobieski's chance. Anelka really letting rip. Perez, Vieira, Lauren could go outside it. Ljungberg trying to hunt down some space as well, but City have been quite good at denying that to the midfield runners. Wiltor, Ken Cole contributing to the attack, and Ashley Cole's in behind Manchester City. Here's Gilberto, goes near post. It comes for Perez.
Awkward height. Wonder if he knew he'd have thought he had time to deal with this. Again, Ashley Cole, the provider. He might have been able to put his foot on it, maybe not. But he's good enough to have done something there. But this is one where he's unlucky it's gone behind him, Martin, and he's had to turn. Whereas had he gotten it out in front of him, then it would have made the chance easier.
It is the weary Sobieski taken off at the three-quarter mark, and the Australian Danny Tiato comes on to play on the left of midfield, and the versatile Trevor Sinclair is now the support striker to Anelka. Keown took it away. It was a wise enough decision. Bosveld. Ljungberg saw it coming. It's really set up for a tremendous last 20 minutes or so here. Handball by Shaun Wright-Phillips. Here's the player now being followed by player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Find the red button on your remote and our interactive facilities. Ljungberg across to Perez. Again, Cole's already on the advance. Perez again. Gilberto. Now Lauren. A bit overplayed by Arsenal. And taken on here by Tarnat. Well, we all knew what he was trying to do.
Again, that looked a little weary.
This is no team to be weary against, is it? Arsenal, full of athleticism, full of ingenuity. In fact, top Premiership power. Pires. Henry. Bosvelt did well with the help of Anelka. Right, Phillips his way, and Arsenal have pushed up. And plenty of room for Sinclair. Tiato's in the centre. It's a deflection on the cross, volleyed away by Lauren.
A little bit anxious to put that cross in. I think he had to buy a bit of time somehow. I know it's difficult.
Bosvelt. Milito working back gallantly, but in the end it got rather untidy.
Well, it might be longer. I think if he gave Kevin Keegan 1-1 now, Mark, I think he might take it.
So they've got players who can win the game for him. They don't have to have too much of the ball. The likes of Anelka and Sinclair. Anelka just chased a hopeful clearance late on against Blackburn and turned 1 point into 3. Tiato missed a little last season with injured stomach muscles. Wiltor. And David Seaman came out, and Ljungberg's there. Freddie Ljungberg bounces. Manchester City are livid with themselves. And Arsenal, who are 1-0 down, lead 2-1 at the City of Manchester Stadium.
Well, I said offer him 1-1, he'd probably take it, 30 seconds ago, and that's why. Because that's what Arsenal are all about. But Danny Tiato gives the ball away. Henry does brilliantly, Martin. He chases back and chases back. And then, again, they don't defend it brilliantly. Sun Jihai wants the goalkeeper to come. David Seaman doesn't claim it. This little flick now, should the goalkeeper have gone down, claimed it, he goes down legs rather than arms and body. And because of that, the ball breaks off the big goalkeeper. See that? Didn't really go with the body and arms to collect the ball. Talked about Freddie. He still makes the runs, Martin. And if you keep putting yourself in there, you'll get your rewards. And he's also been booked, I think, for going into the crowd. So, a pretty eventful 30 seconds for Freddie Ljungberg.
Yes, he certainly stepped well off the playing area here. To go into the crowd, you have to make a conscious decision to do that. You could see what the goal meant to him. His first of the season. And he wanted to share it with the supporters. Players really can't be encouraged to do that, but we all understand the emotion, the passion that is at the very core of football at every level. Arsenal, of course, had some problems celebrating a goal from their Highbury with Henry. Found himself in front of the Everton fans when he was really, I think, trying to gesture to some family up in an executive box. So it's just something that's got to be borne in mind. But it is the greatest feeling. And Freddie Ljungberg was all fired up for giving Arsenal the lead here.
There's another booking going on while we watch this replay. Martin Tarnett's been booked for saying something. But I just wonder, you know, you look at David Seaman, he goes there and he goes with his legs more than his body. And then Freddie's off. He's into the crowd, he's over the barrier, gets a yellow card. So does Michael Tarnett. Is it too much to say to Graham Paul?
Free kick taken by Kia. Henry. Well, it's been a splendid second half revival from Arsenal. Just check on the cards for you, 3 apiece. Pretty much a routine for referees these days.
We don't get half an... Ooh,
now, Danny Tiato is going to add to that card count. He has a red card against Arsenal to his name.
Does get himself in trouble, Danny Tiato.
He's tried to curb it, of course. He committed a terrible tackle. Was it on David Thompson last season? He gets a yellow card here. His foot was a little bit high.
Well, the ball's bouncing and he comes in and he certainly doesn't make contact with the ball, that's for sure. Points at it, yeah, you can see it okay, but he didn't quite get there.
We'll reassess the card count for you. It's not level now. And Arsene Wenger is reassessing the stamina of his side. He's going to replace Wiltor, the scorer of the equaliser. And he's also going to take off the scorer of the Arsenal second goal, Freddie Ljungberg, to bring on the fresh legs of Ray Parlour and Dennis Bergkamp. Mentioned last week, didn't we, Andy? At the moment, these two seem to be confined to these cameo roles late on. There's a lot of matches to come.
Oh, absolutely.
Lauren. Well, there's around 15 minutes left if you take into account added time. Arsenal didn't start very well here. They'll be looking to finish strongly. And Cole's called in possession.
Yes, I think it was a bit like, the same sort of time that Liverpool started yesterday playing against Everton. Just before half-time, I said there were signs. Arsenal had, I wouldn't use the word lethargic, but it was a bit like that, the opening half hour of this match.
So what do your famous prophetic skills say here? Have we seen the end of the scoring?
Well, I think Arsenal create another chance. And whether they take it is another thing.
And any comfort for Manchester City supporters?
Well, I think you've got to keep it at 2-1 at the moment. The important thing is they don't lose another. In this game there is always a chance, man. All it takes is something like this. You put your 2 big centre-backs up, you knock one in, it drops down, someone smashes it in. You have to believe that something's going to come from it.
Arsenal have had their difficulties defensively, a shift in generation really, we know that because of the goalkeeper at the other end of the pitch. And Kolo Touré, one of those trying to really make a name for himself in the heart of that defence. Jens Lehmann behind him, of course, the same applies. Headed by Tiato. Parlour. Kevin Keegan knows all about Ray Parlour, who brought him into the England side when Kevin was manager, often enough. Bergkamp. If that got past Vieira, Arsenal would have been caught going in the wrong direction.
The fans on the far side absolutely furious with Graham Paul. I think they're surprised that he could see that.
Going to be a double change now from Kevin Keegan. Eyal Berkovic, who has been talking about wanting to leave Manchester City, but there's been suggestions over the past few days he's having a rethink. Off comes Shaun Wright-Phillips, who's very, very popular here. And Bosvelt. They've got to get a bit of creativity. You talked about changing the midfield emphasis at the start, didn't you, Andy? And Benarbia was another one who's, of course, left the club now. But Berkovic, whose talents are very much in the attacking side of the midfield game, and we know all about Robbie Fowler and his record against Arsenal. 2 hat-tricks against them, one in the Premiership in under 5 minutes, which was it's going to stay in the record books for a long time. One would do, I think, from Fowler for City today. Berkovic. Tarnat. Tiata. Barton. Now Berkovic, working so hard to get on the ball and use his passing skills. Lehmann's come out, but he hasn't dealt with it.
There is offside. Just fractionally. Flag went up really early. I don't think Anelka was. You look at Sinclair trying to run across the line. Again, it's one of those very, very close ones that linesman is there on the side of the defence every time.
On the side of caution, and he's been consistent, Martin Shaw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Adam Spark, your football tomorrow night. Wycombe Wanderers against Sheffield Wednesday. At Sky Sports 1 at 8. Berkovic in behind the Arsenal midfield. He's got 3 in blue to his right, but checks back. Tiato is there to help him. And Barton. Here comes Sun Ji-hai. Lehmann started to come. Knew he wouldn't get there. Lauren, this time well away from his own goal. Short corner between Sinclair and Berkovic. That's Bergkamp.
That's wasted. Absolutely wasted.
What a pass from Pires. That's perfect to Parlour. Bergkamp. Henry. Remember, Arsenal rather faltered at the back end of last season because they couldn't hang on to leads.
Yeah, I think last week it was easy for them, wasn't it? They were cruising at Middlesbrough, so. We shall see if they're going to be a little twitchy then, you'd expect, away from home. People pushing forward, it might be at a time like this.
He's taken the chance, Kevin Keegan, as he has to do. Between the balance of midfield to give the front men more support, and a fresh front man in Fowler. And Edu is being summoned by Arsene Wenger to support his midfield. Tiato. Doesn't want to hit it with the right foot. The flag has gone up.
Lovely little ball as well. Again, it's coming inside, and Arsenal just out they come. Just about, yeah, 3, 4, 5 of them. Take your pick. That's pretty good defending when your back 4 can move forward like that.
Pires gives way to Edu.
Number 17, Edu.
It's a pretty simple philosophy, Arsene Wenger, when they're in front late on, particularly away from home, but not exclusively. He puts on 1 or 2 enforcers, and when he's behind, he overloads with the attackers, doesn't he? Parlour. Oh, it's Henry round Seaman. And Joey Barton is a very relieved young man, full of apology.
Yeah, you can't underhit back passes when Henry around, can you? The only surprise there is he had slid it past. He tried to go around David Seaman, a little surprised.
A great ball by Bergkamp standards.
No real need to play a ball 30, 40 yards, well, longer than that across field. You've got possession, you've got the lead. He's done all right again, hasn't he, Kolo Toure, Mark? Problem area for them. Yet again, he's been fairly solid.
And your old teammate, Martin Keown, from those Aston Villa days in the mid-1980s.
Still going strong. Yeah, they've done all right between them. Kept this man pretty quiet, and Anelka, since he went up top.
Berkovic.
That'll please his manager.
Well, they didn't beat Portsmouth in the opening game in the Premiership on this ground, but they did get a very, very late equaliser. Interesting to hear David Seaman's verdict on the point you made on the second Arsenal goal, Andy.
I just wonder if he saw Perez, Martin, and then just, you know, it does happen, took his eye off it.
Couldn't have dropped better for Ljungberg, could it?
No.
This time tackled by Gilberto. It's not done and dusted by Arsenal yet.
It was a free kick from this sort of area. Somebody got on the end of later on against Portsmouth.
And what about Reebok Stadium?
Yeah, Martin Keown. It's too early in the season for that.
Compliment to Barton that he's on free kicks.
That's too heavy. Too heavy. It's a couple he's played a little bit like that.
4 minutes to go. Distin. Miscontrolled by Edu. Somme. Not quite found that pinpoint pass to use the cutting edge of Anelka. Parler. Lauren. Bergkamp. Good turn of foot by Tiato. Well, I recognise, I think, straight away he wasn't going to get there. It's Keown again. Sun Ji-hai. Bart. Arsenal funnel back. Darting move from Sinclair. Roberto heads away the cross, heads it back where it had come from. Sinclair again, a little bit of contact, he might have just thought about going down.
They just can't pick a ball out in that last third at the moment.
They're keeping the ball. And Keown lets it go! Oh!
Flags up, Martin, flags up. Oh. Flags up.
Yet again, Martin short. That's a pose we've seen him in, so the best part of 20 times, I would have thought.
He flags against Nicolas Anelka here, I'm sure it is. Look at him back post. You can see he's offside. What a let-off that is.
Keown let it run, and then it was played against him, against the bar.
Oh, dear.
What would Messrs Bold and Adams think about that? They had survived it, even if the flag hadn't gone up, but it was a restart from an Arsenal free kick. 90 seconds plus added time. On a day when one Manchester team have already lost, the blue side is trailing to the red side's great rivals at the top of the table.
I just asked a lot. Robbie Fowler. Well, they're ahead in the game, Arsenal, and they've certainly not been at their best. Just every now and again they've shown what they're capable of. Offside.
But I think, Andy, there may well be some re-evaluating of Manchester City with these new players. And McManaman to come, Reina to come. Kevin Keegan will be aiming to qualify for the UEFA Cup by the more conventional route, not just because they were short on yellow and red cards. Fair play methodology.
Yeah, they've just thrown Distan now. He's just jogging right up front. Suggests that if they get it now, they're just going to be launched.
He's a player who's never scored in English football. But he has got the size, maybe, to make a difference, maybe make a goal for somebody else with a touch like that. There's no flag this time. And then Lauren plays it against Tiato, goal kick. 3 added minutes.
3 additional minutes. 3 additional minutes.
Good hassling by Bergkamp. This is Parla.
Offside.
Offside is Henry. They can't quite put the game to bed, Arsenal.
I'm not so sure what Ashley Cole's done there, Martin. The linesman's given a free kick against him. That's... I do not know what he did there at all.
Short, and Arsenal rather caught flat-footed by that. Berkovic trying to slide it through. Sun Ji-hai digs out a left-footed cross. Distan making a nuisance of himself, but it's Lehmann's ball. Bowled out to Parla. Henry's in space. Parla doesn't need to play it. He wants to do something with it now because he's closed down by Tarnat and Tiato. It's a blue ball.
It's a white ball.
You know what I mean.
It's a poor throw from Distan. Really put his teammate in trouble there.
Henry, can he wrap it up for Arsenal here? Very nearly. They might not need the extra ribbon.
No, we've seen him do this so often from that inside left position, just tuck inside and bend at the far corner. Not quite. I'm sure we'll see him do it again this season as well. The ball's got to go forward.
Berkovic, Edu sliding in, breaks for Bergkamp. The long legs of Vieira helping Arsenal. Bergkamp.
Oh, you think that's game now, Martin? Just play it out.
Sinclair. Barton. Surely Manchester City's last attack. Distan. It's a corner.
And we better get a move on. Michael Tarnat's got a long way to go from left back to that corner of the pitch.
How he'd love to get on and get a touch of the ball himself, the City manager.
It was 3 extra minutes. We're now into the fourth.
Just wonder whether David Seaman himself might come up, but he has stayed back. Everybody else is there for Manchester City as Tarnat swings it in. And it's just over the top from Robbie Fowler. That's the end of it. Well, City at Manchester Stadium on Main Road. It's all the same for Arsenal. Overall, a 9th straight win over today's opposition. Although it wasn't a straightforward victory, they had to contend with an own goal from Lauren that gave City early impetus in a season in which they'd made a good early start. But after Wiltord had equalised, it was Freddie Ljungberg, full of smiles, who spoilt David Seaman's day. And Arsenal, 12 points out of 12, their best start since 1947, a season that ended with them winning the championship. And Andy, it's been good all round. Manchester United losing, Arsenal winning. The Gunners absolutely delighted.
It must be. It's been a fantastic start, Martin. We saw them purring last week. We saw the very best of Arsenal against Middlesbrough. Total domination and pure football they played. It was a different performance today. They had to dig in, They conceded a daft goal to give Manchester City a lead, but then they showed the other quality you need if you want to be champions again, and that's you have to dig out a result. Never quite at their best, but at times produce some wonderful football. Good enough to nick 2 goals, good enough to win this game.
And good enough to stretch it out at the top of the table. Manchester City with David Seaman 1, Arsenal without him 2.
It is, as Martin was saying, their best start for 56 years. Sean Goater and Alan Smith are with us. We'll get their thoughts when we come back. We'll also name the man of the match. But Arsenal stretched their lead at the top on a day when United were beaten. All the reaction comes next.
This September on Sky Movies, experience extreme emotion.
We will ride into battle.
Love and hate in We Were Soldiers.
Open your eyes.
Fuel your desire in Vanilla Sky.
It's vengeance.
Free yourself with a Count of Monte Cristo.
Talk to me!
Feel passion in A Beautiful Mind.
Are you for real?
Romance with Kate and Leopold. And face fear in The One. Great films to feed your emotions.
We love it.
September on Sky Movies.
Wait. For the children.
(1895), Bolton, England. Joseph William Foster created the world's first running spike. This legacy of performance lives on today in the Vector. Reebok, outperform.
This is Cahoot country.
Are we safe?
Young lady, until we find a footprint, we are perfectly safe.
What do we do then?
Run like the wind.
For a bank that offers a flexible loan of up to £20,000 at an incredible 6.5% typical APR, visit Cahoot.com. Like banking, only different.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I really liked it. Couldn't put it down.
Thanks very much. Hiya. You all right? There you go.
Jeepers Creepers 2 surpasses the original in every respect. It's a road trip to hell with wings on. Jeepers Creepers 2.
It is coming back.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, I've upgraded you to first class.
Oh, you muppet! I don't know why I bother.
But at no stage have they ever been alone.
No! No!
There he is. Come on, get in there. Go on, get in there! Come on! Come on!
With the volley! Hit that one!
Sorry, I've got to pay for another trip to the dentist.
Oh, I get cash back whenever I go.
How do you wrangle that?
Oh, hey, just
Well,
say!
we can't all afford private medical insurance.
It's not expensive, it's a everyday health plan.
An everyday what?
Come on! Hey, just say!
They give you cash for the opticians, physio, even hospital stays.
Who do?
Oh, hey, just say!
HSA. Health-wise, it pays. Call today.
Ever wanted to play in a top football stadium like Stamford Bridge or even the Stade de France? Well, now you can. You could be playing a real game on the real pitch. Over 1,000 places are up for grabs. Plus, you can save up to £15 off any major replica team shirt. See the special Coca-Cola packs and you could taste the glory.
It's more live football tonight at 8:30 from Spain. Real Zaragoza against Deportivo here on Sky Sports 1. And tomorrow at 8 from the second division, it's Wycombe against Sheffield Wednesday, again on Sky Sports 1. Tuesday night, it's David Beckham and Real Madrid at Villarreal, 7:30 start. And next Saturday, there's a choice of live football, 2 o'clock on 1. Scotland meet the Faroe Islands, both these, of course, European Championship qualifiers. At 3 on 2, it's the Republic of Ireland against Russia. Barclaycard Premiership, bottom to top, all those from Charlton down to Spurs falling today because Southampton beat Manchester United by 1-0. James Beattie in the 88th minute. And it's a win that takes Saints above Liverpool and Blackburn into 8th place. Then come Fulham, Birmingham, Chelsea. No change for Manchester City, who stay 4th. Portsmouth, Manchester United, and top by 3 points now, Arsenal. And here's the man of the match with Claire Tomlinson.
Martin took a bit of time to get going today.
Yeah, that's right. That's my first full game since the cup final, so found it a bit difficult. But now, now into my stride really. But I'm surprised Kola wasn't man of the match today. I thought he was outstanding for us.
I meant the team, really, not you.
Well, yeah. I mean, we started, and but we've got a lot of belief. And the manager asked us a question at half-time, and I think we came out and answered it.
What was the question he asked you?
Well, he asked us, did we really want to go and win it this year? And this is where it starts. And all credit to them; they're a hell of a side. There's not many people going to come here and win, and we're more than pleased with today's result. Nicholas
Anelka is obviously a player you know well. Did you have a little chat with Kolo Touré about what to expect from him?
I think Nicholas is, he's an outstanding player. A lot said about Thierry Henry, but Nicholas is up there as well, and I think Kola knows for himself. And having played against him today, he will know that he was in a tough match.
Another old friend in the opposite goal. What was it like? Was it a bit weird to see him playing against you?
It was a bit strange. I mean, it's been strange generally since the start of the season. David's not been around, but I must say the goalkeeper we've got now has come in and was excellent again today. He's got a good presence, and obviously we're building for the future.
Did you fear the worst in the dying minutes when that ball hit you and then went against the post?
Yeah, I just had a feeling that things were going to go against us, but no, maybe. It went our way today, and we were pleased.
Manchester United lost. Did you know that before you went out on the pitch?
No, no idea. But long way to go. But obviously we're pleased.
And just finally, what did you make of the new stadium?
Fantastic. It's a lovely place and a great atmosphere.
Well, you are the man of the match, Barclaycard man of the match. If you want to share it with Kolo, I'm sure he won't mind.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Flag was up a long time before that. There was never any danger, really, Martin. Well, it takes all kinds of performances to win a championship, doesn't it? Have we seen another side to Arsenal today?
Yeah, I think we have, and it's something we've seen a couple of times, and something Arsene Wenger's very proud of when it happens. That gritty side, the will to win when his team aren't firing on all cylinders, and they certainly weren't today. Quite a few players weren't really at their maximum, but they got the goal second half just when they needed to, and forced City onto the back foot, and they only really looked one winner from that moment on. But even so, they'll be pleased with it, Arsenal, because it isn't an easy place to come. But they'll be looking to just put things together a little more fluidly in the next couple of games.
Martin Keown said not too many teams will come here and win, Sean, but Portsmouth were 60 seconds away from doing so, weren't they? And Arsenal have done today. Is it new stadium, same old City? Is that a fair allegation?
No, certainly. I think the gap is closing. City, second half, obviously, Arsenal were a better team, and the big name players showed up. Vieira in particular, he got onto his game. Wiltor, before he went off, got onto his game, and they started to run the show. And perhaps our midfield couldn't get as close or to stop them, enable them from playing. So, but the gap is closing, and I don't think it's the same old City, new stadium. Certainly not. No,
their midfield. Although their midfield first half were really at it, weren't they? Was that the difference?
Yeah. Joey Barton, Bosveld, these lads were all around Vieira, stopping them from getting this game going and stopping Arsenal.
And everybody else, and here's evidence, isn't it? The opening goal, they were just all over them, weren't they?
Yeah, and we knew. I mean, I'm sure the last thing that Keegan would have said to them is the first 10 to 15 minutes of the second half, expect them to come at you. And, you know, conceded a goal early on.
They really played at high tempo, didn't they?
Doesn't matter so much now, but had City won it, would Arsenal have been complaining about the little nudge in the back, and did it make a difference?
It certainly made a difference to Lawrence's contact on the ball, yes, and I'm sure
Sean's saying no as you're looking at that.
I think he's expecting some. Yeah, he's expecting some contact. He knows he's under pressure.
Yeah, but that's a push, isn't it? That's an illegal contact, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a man's game. He's expecting a little contact there, and no foul for me.
You're wrong. It was a man's game. It's all changed. It's a non-contact sport almost.
Right, yeah.
On another day for you, is that a foul?
On another day, quite easily, yeah. I mean, as you say, if it had happened up the other end, who knows? But you do get sick of seeing, you know, 50-50 challenges. I know that wasn't the case, but shoulder barges, whatever, and the referee blows up. There was not enough of the physical aspect allowed to go on in the game today.
A lot would agree with that. So Arsenal a goal down at half-time, trailing to Manchester City for the first time in the Premier.
As Martin Keown said, he asked the question, and
Sean
they did respond.
Phillips switched off.
Yeah, he's I don't know, ball watching or what, but he's got the wrong side, and the ball's been slipped through. It's a great ball, and you know, he's knocked it across. And he's got onto the end of it.
Even that one, in truth, Cole shouldn't get, should he? That should be tidied up, as Andy said, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Sean switched off a bit there, and it's as you know, you don't allow so many men or the Arsenal players to get into the box, and you know, you got to be switched on, certainly around the box, because that's what they're looking for, to get balls in the feet and in around the box, and they made it count.
David Seaman would have wanted something from the game. The only memory he's got is of defeat now. And how much blame would you put down to him in this situation, Alan?
Well, I mean, he was quite. I thought Sunji High should certainly have cleared his lines there. He's just trying to hold off his man and allow Dave Seaman to come through and get it. But you know, I think David Seaman in his prime, 3 or 4 years ago, would have come through and taken man and ball and cleared the situation. He was just tentative in the way that he came. He didn't come out hands first. He came with his knees first, if anything. So yeah, I mean, I think he was at fault to a degree, but Sunji High just there, I think he should make the move and clear that ball. And from then on, it was all going wrong.
Yeah, for me, I think it's in a position where Sunji High is wanting Seaman to come out, and Seaman's wanting Sunji High to deal with it. So it's a ball that's in that grey area.
So who then should boss it in that situation?
I suppose you're wanting your goalkeeper to, you know, to say something, clear it, or my ball.
Well, you're wanting just him to come through and whack, clearing everything, aren't you? And hopefully coming out the other side with the ball. And you know, Dave Seaman didn't do that then.
Yeah.
Did City deserve something?
From the first half, you'd say yeah, but yeah, I think so. Arsenal's gone on second half and stepped the game up, which we would have expected. Just disappointing that we weren't able to get amongst them a bit more in the second half. But I think we deserve something, but we obviously didn't.
There are others, of course, to come, as we've said, Rainier and Steve McManaman as well. And I said at the start, what's the gap between what City have to make up from where they are to join the big fellas?
Well, I think it's minimal now, because again, you're talking 2 quality players coming into the team. Previous to last season when City were playing Arsenal, we were losing 4-0 and 5-1. Now today we've lost 2-1, and you're talking 2 more quality players coming into it. So I think, and Keegan he'll be disappointed that they've lost today, because he'll truly believe that they were capable of beating Arsenal.
You still haven't. Sorry,
carry on.
I was just going to say, you still haven't got the well, not you, but the position, the situation up front sorted. Have you got Nicholas Anelka plus another at the moment? You know, Robbie Fowler hasn't hit top form. Sibierski does that job, but I couldn't see him doing it right through the season. Whether there's a case for McManaman playing as a second striker, I don't know. But you know, I don't think
striker.
I don't know what Kevin Keegan's got in mind for him, but certainly that situation is far from